Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's been quite a day, so let's dive right in. Starting with the weight and diet update. Currently sitting at 152.6 pounds as of this morning. Food was pretty sparse today, which is typical for my keto routine. Starting with a Quest S'mores protein bar. Honestly, the flavor was super faint. Tasted like a generic protein bar with just a hint of s'mores. Nothing special. Next up was an epic protein pastry. These are basically keto Pop-Tarts. I'm not huge on Pop-Tarts normally, but I wanted something quick and easy that satisfies my sweet tooth without the carbs and sugar. And these hit the spot. The highlight of the day was definitely the jalapeno poppers by my sister. Jalapenos sliced in half, stuffed with cream cheese, bacon, and Mexican cheese. They were delicious, and I paired them with a Dr. Thunder. Who would have thought that you could eat something this flavorful on the keto diet? I also tried my sister's homemade chili sauce with harvest snaps. The chili had this weird flavor profile where everything was competing for attention, but nothing quite landed. Not my thing. Had some leftover roast beef that was a bit old, but still good enough. Then I got creative with the Spam sandwich. We didn't have any deli meat, so we sliced up some Spam, add Tillamook cheddar, mustard, mayo, chili powder on keto seed bread, and had it with 10 harvest snaps and a 7-Up zero sugar tropical. The combination was tangy, creamy. Mayo, salty Spam, balanced cheddar, it all just worked out well. Also had half a kiwi earlier with the jalapeno poppers. Last thing before bed was splitting that s'mores protein bar with my mom, and then taking my vitamins. Exercise. I went for an hour-long walk around the neighborhood. No stretching, no jogging, no high-intensity workouts. Just a simple walk. Probably should have done more, but hey, at least I got out there. Now, the day's events. Woke up around 8 when my mom was talking to me about something, but I was barely lucid. Went back to sleep until 10:20. I had this incredibly vivid dream last night. It started in our backyard pool, except the water was leaning to one side and the other side was completely bare with sand at the bottom. The shallow end stretched down as deep as the deep end normally is. My whole family was sitting at the edge, and I got curious about dropping into what used to be the shallow end. When I did, the water swept me back up like the living water from Moana. Then the dream shifted. I was driving with 3 coworkers, and suddenly my shoes disappeared. I only had bare feet, and when I tried to press the gas and brake pedals, my feet became floppy and unresponsive. The car wouldn't slow down or speed up properly, so I had to dodge other vehicles. The day turned to night rapidly, and I got this third person view of my car getting more and more damaged as I drove recklessly. Eventually, the car totaled, half completely squashed flat. Me and 1 coworker in the front were fine, but we'd lost the 2 in the back. My coworker got out and walked away in a huff, ignoring my attempts to explain about my shoes disappearing. I woke up feeling the same way I felt at the end of the dream. Really strange. After getting up and making coffee, I watched a bunch of interesting stuff. First was an announcement for new smart glasses designed purely for productivity. No color displays, just green text. They're made to be as lightweight and practical as possible, with features like AI meeting summaries, on demand translations, built in teleprompter, and GPS navigation. What I found refreshing was the founder's emphasis on making a tool that supports you rather than one that's designed to steal your attention and keep you hooked. Nice change of pace from the usual tech these days. Then I watched the trailer for Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, a new movie by Gore Verbinski, the guy who did Pirates of the Caribbean and Rango. His first film in nearly 10 years is about a time traveler from a dystopian AI dominated future who goes back in time to warn people and gather a group to prevent that future. Definitely feels like a recreation to our current obsession with AI, VR, and technology in general. The title's weird, but the premise sounds fun. It's coming out February 13th next year, and I'll definitely catch it in theaters. After that, I checked in on YMS, a YouTube film critic I used to watch regularly. He posted an extensive health update explaining why his content output has slowed down significantly. He's prioritizing his health over consistent uploads, which I totally respect. Your health should always come first. Then I had this whole situation with a Samsung phone case. I contacted customer support about my damaged flip case since I'd owned it less than a year. They gave me an order number to send the old one back. But when I went to grab my old case, the new one was already on my doorstep. I wasn't expecting it so soon, but they'd accepted my digital receipt as proof. Still needed to ship the old one back though. Before heading out, I asked my sister if she needed anything from the store. She wanted jalapenos for poppers and Roma tomatoes. The UPS store was conveniently close to the grocery store, so I dropped off the old case. Had to pay $5.31 for shipping and materials, but that's still way cheaper than buying a brand new $30 plus case. At the grocery store, I had a decision to make in the protein section. I was going to get two protein pastries, strawberry and cinnamon sugar. Of course, it's erythritol, not sugar. But then I saw Quest S'mores, these protein bars. I never tried them, and s'mores sounded amazing. But three protein products would have been $30, so I cut out the strawberry pastry, since I already knew what it tasted like, and went with the s'mores bar and the cinnamon sugar pastry. I tried the s'mores bar in the parking lot before driving home. I was disappointed. I expected big s'mores flavor based on the packaging, but it was mostly chalky and proteiny with only a hint of s'mores. The more I chewed slowly, the more the flavor came through, but only kind of. Got home, gave my sister her groceries and the change from what she'd given me. Then I chilled in my room and watched the new Mario Galaxy movie direct that randomly dropped today. If you're expecting typical Illumination storytelling, over the top characters, all star cast, fun visuals, but not a super deep story, that's what you'll get. It's Mario, so you go in expecting silly fun and references for fans. The first movie was fine for what it was, and this looks like more of the same. I'll watch it in theaters. Why not? The weirdest casting choice, though? Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr. This guy directed intense, edgy R-rated films like Good Time and Uncut Gems. Now he's voicing a kid's character in a children's movie? Bowser Jr. should have a young voice, maybe an actual woman voice actor doing a kid voice like in the games. Getting a 39-year-old guy who's known in artsy film circles to voice this character is a bizarre choice. What star power does Benny Safdie even have for a kids' movie? They also got Brie Larson as Rosalina, which, fine. As long as it's a decent female voice actor, people will be fine with it, I'd imagine. The less defined the character is in the games, the lower the expectation is for the casting. But I'm sure there will be fans out there who will come after me and say, no, she's a deep character, but oh well. After watching that, I was planning to watch a new Area 52 video about 12 alien bodies confiscated in the desert. But first, I warmed up a cinnamon protein pastry. My sister showed me this Japanese guy who records himself eating food and reacting in really goofy ways. It was silly and fun, but also kind of dumb. I wished I was watching the Alien video instead at the time, but honestly, it was probably more entertaining to watch the guy eat the food, anyways. Eventually, I did watch the Area 52 video. Then my sister finished making the jalapeno poppers. We ate them together and had interesting conversations about what makes something endearing versus what makes something artificial. After all that fiber throughout the day that I had consumed, I needed to use the restroom. While in there, I listened to Dan Dingle reacting to AI generated monstrosities with his mates. Pretty funny stuff. Then I went for my hour-long walk and listened to a new Preston Dennett video about alien encounters. I finished the Simi and Jimmy episode about the Shelby Oaks movie that had started yesterday. Then I watched a Cold Fusion video about why Apple gave up on AI and fell behind the race. And finally watched a Star Wars Rise of Skywalker pitch meeting comedy video. The comments on the last one were people reminiscing about how Rise of Skywalker was the last Star Wars movie they ever watched, and how it decimated their opinion on the franchise. Everyone was saying, this is what happens when you mix art with corporate. You get slop. Made me want to check out the new Mandalorian Grogu trailer. And man, it looks like a TV show that was half-heartedly edited into a movie. You can tell it's on a tight budget too. The comments were all saying, I wish I could feel something. The state of Star Wars is pretty tragic right now. After my walk, I sat on the front porch watching that trailer. Then went inside. Got pretty hungry, so I warmed up roast beef and made that spam sandwich I mentioned earlier. My mom, my sister, and I hung out together watching videos. Mom said today was the last day the penny was printed in the United States. We watched an old video from 15 years ago about why the penny is silly and shouldn't be made anymore. Then a newer video about the proposal to cut it from circulation. And finally, the most recent video released today about the last official penny being printed. So now we no longer have freshly minted pennies. Everything will be nickels and on up. This means we probably won't have the whole 99-cent pricing anymore, probably. Everything will likely be rounded to the nearest dollar. The reason for cutting pennies? It was costing about 4 cents to produce 1 penny, and their value decreases over time with inflation. Plus, it'll save millions in taxes, supposedly. Pretty interesting. I guess we can't say penny for your thoughts anymore. It's nickel for your thoughts now. After that, we watched a 40-minute video about the most valuable substances that aren't gold. Dark matter, radioactive materials, diamonds, platinum, sapphire, and why they're so valuable. A really complex and interesting watch, for sure. Then my mom told me about Pig Latin. You take a word, move the first letter to the back, and add A at the end. So, for example, Noah becomes One. The Three Stooges did a bit on Pig Latin, so we watched that, which led us down a rabbit hole watching a documentary about Larry Fine. the stooge with the curly hair. It was made by Hats Off Entertainment, a YouTube channel, and it was a deep dive into his history and career. Getting pretty late now, so my mom went to bed and I took my vitamins, and now I'm here working on this video for all of you. So, final thoughts. Quite a strange and eclectic day, all things considered. The vivid dream was interesting, the last pennies being made is historically significant, and the Benny Safdie casting choice for that Mario Galaxy film is honestly really bizarre. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Good night, and take care.